Welcome to Basu TV, and today's episode is about fast bowlers. A lot of students have been calling me for months together about, sir, please do an episode on fast bowlers, and finally it's here today. And it is my favorite subject, and I've worked a lot with fast bowlers over many years now, starting from Mitchell Stark to our own Indian team, where I had the opportunity to work with Shami, Umesh, Siraj, Bumrah, Shardul Thakur, and Ishant Sharma, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and the list goes on and on. And fast bowlers, I'm telling you, they are a rare breed. I always compare fast bowlers with 200, 400 meters runners or a quarter mile in the Olympics. I mean, they are a perfect example for discipline and a perfect prototype for load monitoring, a perfect template where everything has to be in sync with performance. As a fast bowler, first of all, you have to understand, for that matter, all athletes have to treat their bodies like a temple, but fast bowlers even more. The only reason is, first of all, fast bowlers are like fast cars. They need to be maintained very well, otherwise they are going to get injured. And we don't want a fast bowler to break down often and go to the mechanic shop way too often. And there is a way to take care of a fast bowler, and there's a way to develop a fast bowler, and there is a way to maintain yourself as a fast bowler. And it is an art form. It is an art form, an absolute art form. I had this privilege of working with a lot of fast bowlers, and more than anything, I learned a lot over a period of time, that what works and what doesn't work. And young fast bowlers keep mailing me on different programs and how to go about their daily routines and stuff like that. First of all, start looking at, if you're a fast bowler, start looking at yourself as a professional Olympic athlete. You cannot be short on discipline. Discipline is the watchword, and consistency, discipline and consistency. In fact, I gave a Thursday thought on that. It applies 100% to a fast bowler. And I always quote the example of Dale Steyn. How can I forget him? Dale Steyn is like a Mercedes Benz. The way he runs in, he was probably a 200 meters runner and a great swimmer, and he was in pristine shape when he was working with our team. And what kept him away from the other fast bowlers at that point of time was his elastic, explosive ability. How did he acquire that? He has done so many other things as a young kid, and by the time he was at the pinnacle of his career, he understood his body. Likewise, I urge young fast bowlers to understand the pointers which I'm going to enlist, which is going to give you rich rewards, and you will reap the benefits in the years to come. As I told you, imagine you're a quarter miler. When I say quarter miler, 400 meters runner in Olympics. Fitness testing, musculoskeletal screening are a must to start with. It is like taking a stock situation on yourself. Where do you stand, how much you can run, how much you can jump, how much you can sprint. All this data is very, very, very critical for us to muster up a program. And without a blueprint, you cannot move forward. And today, fast bowlers are all bowling 140 plus clicks. And I always say this, if you're going to bowl 125, you're not going to get injured much. But if you're going to bowl more than 140 clicks every time, it's like driving a Ferrari. You will definitely break down every now and then, or you need to at least go to the mechanic shed and maintain yourself. So decide whether you want to bowl 120, 125 and you want to bowl every day, or I don't mind bowling 145 plus clicks, but I want to play for the country. If that is the case, a fast bowler first of all has to bowl fast. Okay, so your attitude towards bowling has to be like, I need to run in and I need to really bowl quick. That should be your mantra. For that to happen, you need to have a set program for training, and you need to find out a bag of exercises which suits you. So based on your fitness testing, based on your screening, based on your past niggles or injuries, we need to set up a program. And you need to find a set of exercises which is unique to you. You need not do what Dale Steyn did, or what a Bumrah did, or what a Shami did. You need to find out what works for you, and you definitely need a professional strength and conditioning coach who can do this, and that is mandatory. And one more request I have for fast bowlers is train with one coach. It cannot be like, oh, off season I trained with one coach, when I went into season I trained with another coach, and I played another tournament, so I isn't that trainer during that tournament. It cannot happen. It is like a marriage. You need to definitely be committed to one coach, and you need to follow his program through the year or through the years. That is the most important thing. If you keep shuttling and changing between coaches, then it is injurious to your health. And in today's world, every trainer or strength and conditioning coach will definitely understand when you have a professional program. Nobody is going to meddle with it. That much I have seen over a period of time. People are not petty anymore. They are definitely very professional and broad-minded, and they in fact will value you more when you have a professional program. The most important starting point, warm-up. I always say it's the most boring but the most important thing. If you can't do the most boring and important thing effectively on a daily basis, you will definitely get injured. By doing the correct specific warm-up which suits your need will almost bring down your injuries by 50%. There itself you actually won the game. So why will you ever compromise on that? Do not compromise on that. And if you say that you can't warm up properly on a daily basis, then you should really question yourself whether you want to play the sport. So that aside, you need to understand, how do I tweak my program when I start playing in season? I bowl 20 overs in a match, or I bowl 10 overs in a match. I have practice sessions. You have to take the heat into consideration. Sometimes travel, sleep, everything has to be taken into consideration, and hydration. Last year we had an interesting discussion, and Adam Griffith, our fast bowling coach, was also there with me. And one of our boys who came from the Ranji level came and asked us, "Sir, how much should I run in season?" So the next question I asked him is, "Do you play all the matches?" "Yeah," he says, "I play all the matches for my state team." Then Adam jumped in and said, "The only running you will do in season is while you play cricket and when you warm up. That's about it. Please remember that if you're bowling 20 overs in a day, and if you play a day's game of 90 overs, you can cover anywhere between 18 to 25 kilometers in a day. And if you think that's not enough and you want to run more, then you are living in a fool's paradise." And it's very important for coaches also to understand this, that in day's game or any matches for that matter, fast bowlers do run a lot. And if I have a GPS fitted into them, that will give you enough data, and that objective number I'm sure will convince you. As a fast bowler, I think there's another very important training element which you can't ignore. When I say training element, the 3 big meals has to have a say. You have to have a say in every meal. You cannot skip a meal. When I say skip a meal, even if you skip your macronutrients, when I say protein, fat and carbohydrates in every meal, that is not counted as a meal. It's okay for a person who goes to a 9 to 5 job. As a fast bowler, please remember you're an Olympic athlete, you're a 400 meters runner, and if you wish to play for the country, every meal counts, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and it has to be tailor-made for you. And we'll talk about nutrition for fast bowlers on a different episode, but as of today, you please understand that every meal counts. And supplements, and I used to think that supplements are not necessary back in the days, but as years rolled by, I understood that supplements do play a major role in the overall makeup of an athlete, and more so for a fast bowler. And whether everyone requires a supplement, again, that's another debate. And people may debate on whether you require supplements or not required, whether it's good for you or not required. But over a period of time, I have noticed that certain basic ones like the whey proteins and a little bit of glutamine and creatine, all these things can be sprinkled upon in your daily diet, and you can customize it with a professional nutritionist or a meal planner. And the next one is electrolyte imbalance. India is a very hot place, and most of the days can really sap your strength with regards to the pressing heat and humidity. I remember a match, team playing in Calcutta against a New Zealand team, pressing heat, and it was 42 degree temperature, and The boys were sweating. They'll bowl a spell of 6 overs and come in. They'll just quickly dip into the ice bath and again go in. And people ask, oh, ice bath, and suddenly the contrast, it is okay. If you are bowled in 42-degree temperature, you just want to cool your body a little and then get back. Otherwise, you're going to cramp. And again, another debate on ice bath, another day for that. I mean, this episode is too small for that. Ice bath is great, trust me. You can read any amount of studies on ice bath, but ice bath does work. It is like a magic potion for fast bowlers, especially on hot days. And the most important thing is, when I say load monitoring, a lot of eyebrows do lift. When I say load monitoring, it is nothing but arranging your week, arranging your month, arranging your year in a fashion in which your fast bowlers can be at their peaks at the right moment. You can't bowl fast on a daily basis. You need to break. You understand very well when you do training, you have rest days, right? You don't train every day. The rest days are the days where you regenerate, recoup and grow. Likewise, fast bowlers have to have this ups and downs with regards to bowling loads, and they need to have their ups and downs with regards to strength training work, and the running loads should be factored in off-season and pre-season. And again, it is very customized and it depends on person to person. What works for one person may not work for the other. I mean, I always use this line, one man's food is another man's poison. So again, it has to be customized. But by and large, you need to train, you need to eat, you need to rest, and you need to repeat. These are 3 things you do on a daily basis. And do you have a choice? No. This is a boring, tight routine for you till you play your last match of your life. And that is fast bowlers for you. And with regards to rehab, I say more than rehab, the most important thing is you have done your screening, you've done your fitness testing. The prehabs also have a major role in your overall prep. So prehab, rehab, strength training, running fitness, bowling loads, nutrition, sleep. This is a network. They are closely knit, and you need to understand this network very well for you to be successful as a fast bowler. And 3 injuries which we commonly see is stress fracture in the back for a young fast bowler, and we do see some posterior ankle impingement for some of the young fast bowlers, and sometimes a lot of hamstring tendinopathy. These, I mean, just naming a few. Be in awareness of all these 3 things, and if you need any kind of support with regards to prep with a fast bowler, I'm always available, and you can mail us and we will be more than happy to help you with a blueprint, roadmap, whatever you call it. And fast bowlers, please remember this line. Like a Mercedes Benz, you can't have too many scratches, and you cannot have the engine not checked often. You need to check everything, and you need to have a checklist on a daily basis. And if you can do that in a prudent way, success is guaranteed. Thank you.